The He-Man monkey is the newest hero in BTD6. We'll cover what he does at different levels, use him in a few different games, and at the end, we'll see how good he is. To start, the base hero is actually Prince Adam, a melee-based monkey who damages Bloons with a large sword, has a bit more range than Sawdon Pat Fusty, and he's immune to negative effects like stuns from Bloons or bosses. But at level 3, he unlocks his iconic transformation ability, allowing him to turn into He-Man and trade attack speed for sheer damage. This is a super simple ability that just changes his mode, but it also deals some damage in the process. If you keep him as Prince Adam, he'll sometimes send Bloons backwards along the track, but if you switch him to He-Man, he can see camos, pop blood Bloons, and even get the occasional lightning attack. At level 4, Prince Adam starts throwing net traps on the track that grab Bloons, while He-Man gets extra damage. And at level 5, a shield appears at the back of the track. When a Bloon leaks, the shield reduces the damage taken and pushes back any more Bloons that try to escape. The fun starts at level 7 though. Here, Adam gains the ability to teleport monkeys to a new location, including himself. The only ones he can't move are the Village, Farm, Ace, Heli, Sun Temple, and Sun God. And He-Man's level 7 lets him leap to a target location, stunning and dealing damage to the surrounding area. Similar to Sada's Sword Leap, but He-Man stays there. I had some cool strats with this teleportation, but more on that later. Prince Adam's level 10 ability is Battle Cry. It inspires nearby monkeys. They attack slower, but deal more damage, passive life loss abilities activate, and buffed monkeys are immune to enemy debuffs like stuns. While He-Man's War Cry lets him rapidly attack Bloons in a wide area. At level 14, the two forms get drastically different passives. Prince Adam will regenerate lives from the most recent leak, and He-Man gets the ability to smack back base Moabs along the track, dealing damage to other Bloons in the process. At level 19, every Bloon popped by Prince Adam generates a mana shield, up to plus 100, and he deals more damage per mana shield. And He-Man just deals more damage the less lives you have. And at level 20, both forms get more damage the more Bloons are on screen, and increased attack speed the closer they are to leaking. As for strategies, I was really struggling for Chimp's combos. He doesn't buff monkeys outside of Prince Adam's level 10, and his stalls with nets and knockbacks aren't as strong as other heroes. But I thought of 3 ways to use him. The first is using his level 10 ability to activate life loss abilities. The 2 that come to mind are the Bomb Blitz and the Elite Defender. And because He-Man has no synergies with towers, I figured I'd throw him into the Permabrew Sniper strategy. Normally, you pair them with Quincy as he benefits from the buffs, but I had a good feeling about this. I started off with a Dart and Sub, which pretty easily got us to Prince Adam. He only costs $700 in this mode, so one of the cheapest heroes, but he doesn't have that much popping power starting out. The second he hit level 3, I transformed him to He-Man for that extra damage and lightning attack. Even though he hits slower, I find this mode much better in the early game as he helps out a ton with the tankier pink and yellow Bloons. Plus, he can easily handle the camo Bloons on 24 and 33, letting us go straight for a 3-2-0 destroyer to pop the large rushes heading our way. What was surprising though, was He-Man actually popped all of the camos on 36 and 37 too, so we didn't need to pick up any extra camo detection for the early game, though on any harder of a map we would've. This let us afford a discount Village and Berserker Brew for round 40, which was made very easy with He-Man's Leaping Smash ability. But now we're in the mid game, and we need to set up our actual strategy. So I got down a sniper and slowly upgraded him to a 0-2-5 Elite Defender. This guy will carry our mid game while we save up for the Permabrew. But that brings us to round 63, where He-Man channeled his inner Sada. He made these 3 rushes so easy. I used Leap on the first rush, War Cry on the second, and Leap was back off cooldown for the third. And while we were saving, I had some shenanigans to pull. I transformed our hero back into Prince Adam and rearranged our towers. Now that our sniper is our strongest monkey, I teleported the Destroyer and Adam over to the left to let the Elite Defender have his own personal stronger stim. This way, he gets all the potions and keeps his DPS as high as possible. I moved the sub to have slightly better coverage of the map, and I put our buck in a spot where he could break open blimps quickly and let our sniper do what he does best, handle the rushes of Bloons inside. This very easily got us to the 80s, as when I was done moving everything around, I turned him back into He-Man and used War Cry for any large ceramic rush and leaped anytime I wanted to stun some blimps. I'm not sure if either of these were necessary, but it made the rounds very easy. And on round 81, we could afford the Permabrew. He instantly buffed the sniper, I moved He-Man back in his range to get stronger, and then I teleported the alchemist so we could hand out his potions to the rest of our monkeys. Not mandatory, but I'll take a global Permabrew. And from here, the game was simple. get a 204 sniper, and start placing 024s all buffed by the elk. This was pretty similar to using Quincy, but we were missing out on that archer damage. But then, on round 87, I used Prince Adam's battle cry to give the sniper extra damage and activate his 4 times attack speed from his life loss ability, and the Bloons melted under this pressure. This was a massive jump in damage anytime we wanted, and I just started spamming more snipers. I used battle cry again on 99, and the snipers deleted the fortified DDTs and did a number to the bad when the extra damage was still active. This came back off cooldown at the very end, but the win was already in the bag. It just helped us pop the BFBs and below. The next idea I had was to move a Tack Zone around using Prince Adam's teleport. The early and mid game were pretty similar, but this time I used a Bads to carry us, and it was super easy to keep him AMD'd, as I just teleported everything else outside of the Alchemist's radii. This let us get to a Bez pretty easily, as He-Man countered all of the hard rounds, and the fun was in the late game. I set up a Tack Zone spot on the left with a primary training village, embrittlement, and stronger stim. This helped the Bez rip open the ZMGs, and the insides weren't too bad. I mean, we didn't even use a war cry, and round 98 went down without a problem. But my favorite part was round 100. Once the bad got to the bridge, I teleported the Tack Zone to the right, and it got to help defend again, making it a super effective round 100 counter. And the final idea I had was just to throw He-Man into a strat that doesn't have too many other synergies. So I paired him with a Carpet of Spikes and a Prince of Darkness. And it actually worked really well until the late game, where I felt pretty weak. With a different hero, this round would have been easy, but I actually leaked on round 98 a few times and had to use 3 heavy abilities to get through. 99 and 100 were simple thanks to the carpet, but when I reviewed the map afterwards, Prince Adam only had 16,000 pops, so he didn't bring any synergies or damage to the table. The most we got out of him was a couple battle cries and stuns, so it goes to show that we can't just throw him into any strategy and get great results out of him. The only other thing I tested was bringing him onto the new map Skull Tweak, teleporting around a Permabrew, and getting a larger mana shield. It was really fun, but nothing truly stood out power-wise. Geraldo and Ezili are still much better free-play heroes, while Ben and Geraldo are still the kings of bosses. But that brings me to my overall ranking. For chimps, I'm putting He-Man right next to Sada near the top of B tier, and he reminds me a lot of her. Prince Adam has a much worse early game, but his abilities are good enough to help you save up throughout the mid game, and I have a feeling that we are going to get a ton out of that teleport. Whether it's repurposing an Alchemist to buff something better, getting to move a Tack Zone to help twice as much for rounds 98 100, or something else. I can see a path where he's much better than this ranking, but for now, this is where I'm putting him. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned is how to get him. He-Man joins the Skeletor and She-Ra skins that have to be in-app purchases for licensing reasons. So, for the first 2 weeks of version 55, he'll only be available from the He-Man and Dan DeMonkey bundle pack in the store. But after 2 weeks, Dan DeMonkey will become available for Monkey Money just like any other hero. They're exactly the same, it's just that Prince Adam and He-Man are skins for this new hero. So, if you want to support the channel, you can pick them up right away and use creator code Hbomb, or you can wait the 2 weeks and use them then. Either way, I appreciate you guys, and I hope you enjoy the new hero.